So I'd like to welcome all of you on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Richard Wagner Society of the Upper Midwest. Thank you for attending and for supporting our local artists, not just Mark, Alexandra, and Lara, but all of your local artists, wherever you live. I know that we're all seeing the light at the end of the tunnel right now, but we all need to keep in mind that, in fact, the tunnel is a lot longer for the local arts community. So no one has been more devastated economically and professionally than musicians, actors, stagehands, wardrobe and makeup, lighting, engineers, composers, lyricists, librettists, the front of the house, ticketing, ushers, concessions, administrations, custodians, and the list of dominoes goes on. We've heard a lot about the impact of the pandemic on bars and restaurants, but not enough about how much we all need to support the performing arts, although lately there has been some more attention given to it in the media, which I was pleased by. But again, please do whatever you can. This recovery will be the longest for all of them. Music in Action was initially conceived prior to the pandemic by a longtime and dear member of our organization, Renata Sharp, who wanted to find a way to provide support for local Twin Cities musicians. So again, this is an idea that we've bandied about at the board of directors for a number of years now. And we had actually pretty much committed to do something about it right before the pandemic, and then the pandemic struck. We realized that the pandemic would have an immediate impact on the world of opera, but of course we had no idea how deep and protracted that impact would be. So by May of last year, we had decided to explore putting together some kind of program as soon as possible. And then May 25th happened. And of course, on that day, George Floyd was murdered right here in Minneapolis. And that challenged us as a board to find a way to respond to that event and its aftermath as well. The result was Music in Action, our organization's first ever grant program, with initial grant funds provided entirely by our 8-member board of directors. The program has absolutely no direct relationship to the 19th century German composer and theatrical impresario Richard Wagner. It was just our attempt to do something completely outside of the bounds of our organization's normal mission. When we launched the grant program in early September, applicants were allowed to select any genre of music, so long as the music was relevant to the program purpose of our grant program, which was most notably to spark healing, humanity, and joy through the vocal arts. After a rigorous evaluation process, our selection committee chose 2 applicants, Victoria Vargas and Mark Billy, to receive $2,500 grants each. Victoria's wonderful premiere and talkback was held on March 12th, but the entire program is available on our YouTube channel, and I encourage you to view it and listen to it. You'll be taken to our YouTube channel very shortly to watch Mark, Alexandra's, and Lara's performance. We are in the process of archiving off all of our events that are virtual so that you can always go back and watch one if you missed it. Both Victoria and Mark happen to be local opera singers, but we could easily have chosen non-classical vocalists as our Music in Action Grant Award winners. So on to the good stuff. Native Choctaw tribe baritone Mark Billy is one of the most promising young baritones on the opera and concert stage today. In 2019, Mark was a young artist with the Hawaii Opera Theater, which is a really difficult gig, where he sang the role of Figaro in their touring production of The Barber of Seville on 3 different Hawaiian islands. Following the tour, he made his debut in the role of Marchese in La Traviata on Hawaiian Opera Theater's main stage, where he also covered Quinn Kelsey in the role of Germain. Also in 2019, Mark was featured as Marchese in La Traviata on the main stage at the Northern Lights Music Festival in the Iron Range of this state of Minnesota. Minnesota soprano Alexandra Razskazoff, acclaimed by the New York Times as a, quote, richly faceted, slinky soprano whose voice is, quote, ample in size with an intriguing instrumental color, according to Opera News, Alexandra has recently garnered much acclaim in the realm of vocal competitions. She's been chosen as a finalist in the 2021 James Tolan Vocal Arts Competition. Also this year, she won third place in both the Partners for the Arts competition and in the National Opera Association's C. Bailey and D. Argento vocal competition. In the fall of 2020, last year, she won top prizes in numerous competitions as well. She has appeared with the Maryland Lyric Opera, the Washington Opera Society, and the Mid-Atlantic Symphony last year alone. She has landed top prizes in a series of competitions in 2019 as well. And as is the case with Mark, her accomplishments are too numerous to summarize in a brief bio. We do have a fairly long performance that you'll find very worth your while, so I don't want to subtract any time from that. And finally, Lara Bolton is a dynamic and multifaceted keyboardist, vocal coach, conductor, arranger, and recording artist. She's known both for her musical versatility and her work with singers. She's highly sought after for a wide variety of projects. She has a long career of vocal coaching and maintains a large private coaching studio. She's also currently on the faculty at the University of Minnesota, and her other operatic affiliations include San Francisco Opera, Washington National Opera, San Diego Opera, Seattle Opera, Chicago Opera Theater, Opera Santa Barbara, Mill City Summer Opera, Minnesota Opera, Opera Colorado, West Bay Opera, Fresno Opera, and Amarillo Opera. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to direct you to our website. The reason that I'm doing that is that we found when we did some testing that the musical quality, in particular the sound quality of these recordings, was not consistently good enough quality for all of you through Zoom. And so what we're going to do is, rather than have you view it through Zoom, view it and listen to it through Zoom, we're going to send you to our YouTube channel. And on our YouTube channel, you'll be able to watch the entire performance. And then when we come back, I will introduce our guest artists, who are all behind our virtual curtain right now. And they will come forward and we will have a wonderful talk back. During the performance, at any time, you can submit any questions you may have through the chat function. If you don't know how to get to the chat function, you can tap on your screen or point and click on your screen, and you should see functions are along the bottom, and it may be hidden behind more, but you'll see chat. And go ahead and submit your questions to everyone so that we can all see them in case there's any kind of technical problem with my being able to read them. That way our artists can jump in and answer the questions themselves directly if need be. And we want this to be as much of a dialogue as possible, and rather than me asking questions and dominating the time during the Q&A at the end. And of course, also comments are welcome. It doesn't have to be questions. You may have comments or suggestions, things like that. So feel free, be liberal with the use of the chat function and submit whatever you'd like through chat. Now, to get to the YouTube channel, rather than give you the YouTube web address, which is a little convoluted, I'm going to have you go to our website, which is wagnertc.org, wagnertc.org. And you can leave your Zoom session open so that you can return to it if you want to jump in and ask a question. And we'll be monitoring it throughout. When you go to our web page, on the home screen, scroll toward the bottom, and you will see, one second here, I'm just going to grab it on my, you'll see a link. And it'll be quite obvious, but underneath welcome, at the bottom, you'll see music and action video for May 14th. That will actually take you to our YouTube channel. And go ahead and watch it. It's 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 36 seconds. When you're done, just come right back here. And as soon as we feel like we've reached a critical mass of everyone being here, we'll go ahead and start the talkback. I hope you all enjoyed it. It's an incredibly gorgeous video.